Hi, my name is TobyT, and I am a design student at Freestyle Academy. And it was at Freestyle that I discovered how fun Adobe Illustrator is. Illustrator is my favorite program out of all the ones I have learned to use here at Freestyle. But to me, making three-dimensional art is so much cooler than just two-dimensional. Unfortunately, Illustrator is a 2D vector program, so for my project I decided to use the 3D effects tool to make my illustrations look 3D. I really love the extra effect that creating 3D designs on Illustrator creates. It makes your artwork look so much more realistic. And as you can see here, I used a triangle and a square, two very basic shapes to show how you can make them 3D with the 3D effects tool. I chose to do a movie poster because Miss P suggested that I could do a movie poster about the coronavirus, but I didn't want to do it about corona because I thought a lot of people would do a project related to corona. And since I'm a huge Star Wars nerd, I decided to make a poster about a Star Wars book that I read. This gave me the ability to practice the 21st century skill of creativity. I had to be creative with this project because I'm basing my designs off of a book, and while there was a lot of visual description about the characters and the places and fan-made artwork, I had to use my imagination on a lot of the designs to illustrate what I pictured in my mind when I was reading the book. For this project, I did research on how to use the 3D effects tool because I had never used the tool before, and there are many options on how to make something 3D in Illustrator. Whether you want to extrude and bevel, revolve, or rotate, and what settings to pick to get what results. It took a lot of playing around with the tool and multiple instructional videos off of YouTube to understand the effect. In my research, I also discovered that you can make three-dimensional text, so I tried to use it for my infographic, but I didn't really like the 3D effect on the text, so after a few failed tries, as you can see here, I decided on regular text instead. Initially, I had a hard time figuring out how to make the 3D effect on the mask look right, as you can see in these two photos. One of the strangest effects was when I tried to make a 3D effect on the Sith Temple. I got this, and I have no idea why. It just elongated everything out to the left and made it look circular. But I used both of these examples as a cautionary tale in my infographic to explain how to make sure you don't make these mistakes. I also played around with the 3D effect on the Jedi Temple just to see what changing the perspective and orientation of the temple would look like. And although it took many attempts, I eventually figured out how to use the tool to make them look 3D and not completely weird, as you can see with this mask, this Sith temple, and this Jedi temple. For me, I found the key was to subtly change the perspective or the orientation of the object. I found to make a realistic looking 3D design, I couldn't go beyond 15 degrees in any one of these directions you can see here, and the perspective. Not that 15 is a magical number or anything, I just found when I went over, I usually got a weird result. I also found that making an object with detailing on it 3D can make it look really weird. This is because the 3D tool basically extended the 2D object at a certain angle to make it look like there are 3 dimensions to it, the same way you would draw a cube on paper. So when the shape becomes 3D, you can see the extended part that makes it look three-dimensional, but the detailing is also extended and sometimes doesn't look right. Sometimes it looks like it is popping out of the image way too much, as you can see here. This is my final product that I made for design class, and I intentionally designed the divide in the middle to show how the main character struggles between the light and the dark, and I intentionally made him leaning to the left with his robes kind of getting pulled in that direction to show how, even though he made some poor decisions, he died a good man. And I had a really fun time with this project, especially because I was designing some of my favorite characters and settings from Star Wars, while also getting to use my favorite program with an interesting new tool. So thank you very much, and I hope you guys choose to try out this tool as well. Thank you.